I asked you guys out there to tell me about some action figures you had as a kid that you think maybe I didn't know about. And you sent them in, so let's take a look at some of them. Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you with another video. It's time for another video. And I'm always telling you about forgotten toys or some action figures. I hate when I do that. I'm always telling you about some forgotten toys and some action figures you probably didn't remember, or ones that make you say, oh, I forgot about that. Well, today I asked you to tell me about some action figures you had as a kid and see if I remember them, man. We're gonna jump into this, and we're gonna look at least 5 of these, and I'm gonna just tell you my history with them, if I do remember them. So let's start with this one right here. Oh, the Infaceables! I have almost forgot about this. If I wasn't doing this YouTube channel, I would have forgotten about this video, but it's one that comes up every now and then when I'm looking at stuff that you may have forgotten about. And I didn't have Infaceables. I'll be honest, I didn't have it. Like I've talked before, I was a one-trick pony. I had Star Wars. Then I had He-Man. But when I was in the Star Wars, I was in the Star Wars zone. When I was in the He-Man zone, I was in the He-Man zone. It's kind of like my video games. I bought Nintendo, and everybody's like, get Sega, get Sega. And I was like, shut up, Nintendo. Get PlayStation, Nintendo. I went Nintendo all the way up on when I don't have a Switch because I don't really play video games anymore. And after I bought the Wii U, I figured I played it like 2 or 3 times. I love that Mario Maker. But yes, Infaceables. Now this was a line of action figures. My friend across the street from me, Boyd, you heard me talk about him before. He had these, and honestly, I never seen them at the store. I never saw anybody else with them. To me, I didn't know. He could have told me he made them in his basement. I would have believed him, although he didn't have a basement. But Infaceables, the face on them would change. You get some kind of alien-like creature, if I remember right. And I can remember going to his house. He always had strange toys. You know that? At my house, I would have Atari, Star Wars toys. Go to his house, he would have Infaceables and television. It had like a controller, like a remote control. It looked like a TV remote. It had a little round circle up top and numbers all over. And you had to put this card into it. It was crazy, man. It was crazy times. But yeah, his house was like it was like the parallel universe, the multiverse. His was across the street, and it was just like totally opposite. It was weird. I had Nintendo, and what did he have? I don't know. TurboGrafx 16, maybe. It was just really weird. And he had these I almost said inflatables. I hope he didn't have an inflatable. Whew. Why do you want to eat plastic every time I'm making video? But anyway, we had these, and I can remember playing with these in the backyard. He had a little area, was like dirt and some grass and stuff, and we used to play Infaceables in there. Infaceables, I remember that. So let's look at another. Now this one I can't believe until right now. I think I forgot all about. To be honest, I don't think I knew the name of it. I just remember I had this friend named Kevin, and he had a sister. He had a little sister. We called her Big Shoe Betty. Big Shoe Betty. She always had like something was wrong with her feet. So one of her foot was bigger than the other foot. And whenever she got new shoes, she had to get 2 pairs. She had to get like a size 8 and a size 10. I don't know if this is something that, I don't know how rare this condition is, but yeah, Big Shoe Betty would always have one big shoe because her shoe was so big. And I can remember she got this, it was Christmas. I remember Christmas Eve, you get up with your friend's family, Christmas, Santa Claus comes, and then like by noontime or something, you're riding your bike to your friend's house, you're seeing what they got. And I can remember going up to Kevin's house and seeing what he got, and there was Big Shoe Betty upset because all she wanted for Christmas was a Cabbage Patch doll. She wanted to love it. She wanted to rock it to sleep. She wanted to make it suck her thumb. I don't know what she wanted to do with it. Maybe she wanted to put it on her big foot. I'm not really sure, but she wanted a Cabbage Patch doll. And you remember the Crees, the Cabbage Patch? God, they were so, Apparently her parents couldn't find one, or Santa Claus couldn't find one. And so what did Big Shoe Betty get? Well, she got these mop pits. Sound like something you don't clean the floor with. But anyway, this was some generic wannabe Cabbage Patch dolls that just guarantees going to get you laughed at. If going to school with one clown shoe on and one normal shoe is not going to be enough to get you laughed at. She was very upset. She was like, this is not a Cabbage Patch doll. This is not a Cabbage Patch. And I was laughing. I was dying laughing. I'm not going to lie to you. She was probably maybe 10 years old. I was probably about 12. But it was funny to me. It was, it was your friend's sister, so it was no way. It wasn't somebody I was trying to hit on. She was younger too, so it wasn't somebody I was trying to get brownie points on or anything. So I saw it, and Kevin was like, "Don't make fun of her. She's on edge already about that." Oh, but it was the funniest thing I ever seen, man. She had that doll. She was yelling at the doll like it was a person. I think she threw it against the wall, and I forgot all about mop pets. I don't think anybody even heard of mop pets. I don't even know where you get a mop pet. I can't believe I even said the word mop pet. I'm probably the only person on YouTube telling you about mop pet dolls. Let's look at another. Robot Zone. Now, this type of toy you probably bought at Revco or something, and I didn't have this toy. None of my friends had this toy, but a kid in school had this toy. It wasn't the kid you kind of talked to. There was one kid that kind of like in his own little world in the back. I remember he had a little plastic pencil box. It was purple. I don't know what all he had in it other than Robot Zone. And I thought these were erasers for a long time. He would sneak them out, get them in class sometime when the teacher wasn't looking and start playing with them. And I would just be in awe. I'd be like, why's that kid playing with something that's Star Wars? What's wrong with that kid? He hadn't seen Star Wars? And he'd get these little robots out, and then it started getting on me, the brightness of them and everything. And I was like, man, that's kind of cool. Let me see that. He wouldn't let you see it. He wouldn't let you touch his toy. He wouldn't let you do anything. No. You try to wear his ball cap. No, get all mad about it. This kid wouldn't let you do anything. He wouldn't let you. He didn't want to hang out with you. He didn't want to talk to you. He just stayed in the back room all by himself and played with his Robot Zone. They were bendable. They were posable. I don't know. That's the only person I've known that ever had these. I've never heard anyone talk about them. I never seen them at toy shows. I never heard anybody ask me about them until now anyway. Maybe this is him. Maybe he sent me this to ask me about it because, as far as I know, he's the only kid in the world that had this. It's weird. Did you have them? I bet not. But they were little plastic toys, and I can remember him. He was sat in the very back with his pencil box. He would lift it up where the teacher couldn't see because the pencil box was sitting in the back of it. Now, I remember that teacher, Miss Young. Her name was Miss Young, but I don't think she ever was young. You know what I'm saying? She was never young. And I used to have a digital watch. Me, a couple other kids in class had a digital watch. Hey, not trying to brag or anything. Not trying to say I had a lot of money saved up for it. Probably got it for Christmas. Digital watch. And we would make it beep. And Miss Young, when she would hear that beep, she would think her hearing aid was falling out. I guess hearing aids beep when they fall out. I'm not really sure. I don't have a hearing aid. But yeah, I would set mine. You had to push the button on the end. You could set it to beep, but you could put one on the top and the bottom and make it go off. So I would sit there like this, like I was listening. Oh, I'm fitting to find out about the antics. I'm fitting to find out some history here. And I would just hit the buttons and beep, 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 beep. And she start pushing on her ear. I know, it's funny. Maybe it's not as funny today, but as a kid, it's funny as heck. So I would hit the button and she'd try to put it back in her ear, and then I would stop, and then down a couple aisles over or something, my friend Mike or Boyd or somebody would push his, and Boyd wouldn't do it. He was more on the sensitive side. Oh, leave her alone. She can't hear. But they would push theirs, and then she'd push it back. It's kind of like, I'm sure y'all did this too. So every once in a while, one in class would start doing this. And she would say, "Junk Kid, are you humming?" And you say, no, I'm not. And by that time, somebody else in, 2 or 3 chairs behind you would start going, And then she would call them out, and somebody else would start doing it. And it would just bring chaos. It was chaos. We just had to have a lot of, you had to break up the day. You had to do something fun. You had to make an old lady think she was losing her hearing aid, or make her think she was going crazy with a bunch of humming. So let's move on. See what else we can look at. I wish I didn't know about this one. Yes, I know someone that had a Menudo. Again, it wasn't me. This kid was named Jeff, and boy, he loved to play with balls. I've talked about John Gorman before, how he loved to play with balls. This is another kid that John liked to play with any kind of ball. Big balls, brown balls. If it was the ball, he'd play with it. But this kid was always big on, his name was Jeff, and he was really big on Little League. Every time we go to his house, it was one of those kids where if nobody else was home in the neighborhood, you might walk up there and talk to him and be like, "Hey, Jeff, home, I want to come in and play," or something, because no one else is there. But he had a Menudo doll. He had at least 2 of them I know of, probably more than that. And I remember he was going to his backyard, and this isn't about Menudo, but he used to have one of those wrestling buddies, and he was probably about 14 at this time, and he had a trampoline in his backyard. We could see him through the woods, and he'd be on his trampoline beating up that wrestling doll, and we'd be laughing our asses off, man. And I don't know if he ever saw us, but we'd be looking through it, and we'd talk about it. He'd say, "Let's go in the woods. Let's go up behind Jeff's house and see if he's fighting with his wrestling doll." But let's get talking about his Menudo doll. he had a Menudo poster. He wasn't shy about his Menudo love. And had a lot of trophies too. You walk in his room and there's all these little trophies. Best bat swinger, best field catcher, best striker outer, best home run hitter. It was something. He was the best of everything. Best baseball cap wearer. I didn't understand people that played Little League. I was like, it's the weekend. It's the weekend. School, you've been at school all week, and what do you want to do on Saturday? You want to go play ball. You want to have something. I didn't want to have nothing to do. I didn't want to be like, you have to do this on Saturday and Sunday. Boyd used to want to go to Sunday school and try to get me to go with him. I said, one thing, it's Sunday. I ain't going to no school on Sunday. Ugh. Anyway, this kid, I remember he had a few of these, and we made fun of him, and he was a tough kid. I think he knew everybody laughed at him already, so he probably been laughed at his whole life. So the time we got around to him about his Menudo toys and his Menudo poster, he was immune to it. Not like today, where he would scream, "Oh, I'm being cyberbullied." Because if we had the internet back then, we would have cyberbullied him. I'm sure we would have. We would have called him Menudo Kid or something. So let's look at one more. High five. I think I've talked about these before. High five. My friend Leonard. Leonard had high five. This is my first black friend. I'd say African American friend. I don't know what you're supposed to say. I don't know what's PC. It changes so much. But yes. See, well, I went to school at a public school till 2nd grade. Then I went to a private school from 2nd to 6th grade. It wasn't all white, but it was like, private school was like 99.9% white. I know we had one black girl in class. People thought she was the daughter of the janitor. They got to go there free because we had a black janitor. We were little kids. And then I wanted to say, Mom, I don't want to go to this stupid school. I hated the private school. I said, I don't want to go there. I want to go to school right up the road from me. It's right there. Everybody in the neighborhood goes there. Let me go there. Well, me and Boyd went to the private school, but everybody else in the neighborhood went to the one by the house. So she let me go. And it was probably, about that. That's probably about, I would say 50-50. It's probably about 80% black people, the rest white people. So we may have Mexican friends that you didn't have at the private school. You had black friends you didn't have at the private school. You had all kinds of friends. I even knew someone, you're not going to believe this. I knew a kid in a wheelchair. I did. I couldn't believe it. I used to tell people all the time. We used to go out of town and see my relatives, and I'd tell them, hey, guess what? I got at home a friend in a wheelchair. They were like, what? You know someone in a wheelchair? Does he let you sit in it? Does he let you roll around downstairs and everything? I was like, no. I'm not, you can't get in my, it was really, he was not share. It was a wheelchair. I couldn't understand that. But anyway, let's get back to Leonard there. He had these high five figures, and he had like 4 of them. But this was a sports line. You had 2 boxers, I don't remember what they were. They all went together. You needed 2 of each. But I remember he had 1 of each one. So he had a boxer with nobody to box against. He had one was a track star. He had no one to run against. One was a baseball player. Didn't have anyone to play baseball with. Football player. Didn't know what to play football with. So it wasn't really fun. He wanted me to bring my He-Man toy. He wanted to mix these with I don't mix toys. I don't mix toys. I don't mix them. Sure, it has kind of a He-Man body and everything. I give you that, but I don't mix my toys with other toys. No, it's like people that want to mix Play-Doh. Didn't you hate that? You get to think of Play-Doh. If somebody wants to mix it, let's make Mr. Bill. I was like, no, go play with the blue. I'll play with the brown. We don't mix them together. You're never gonna get them mixed up. It's gonna turn into a rainbow. It's just won't be fun anymore. And put that cat back on tight, or it's gonna harden like a big turd. But yeah, I remember one time he brought him to my house. He was like, look what I got. Hey, let's let him play in Snake Mountain. I was like, no. High five. What a stupid name. That's a racist name. They were all black figures and they were high five. That's all right. That's a little rude. Anyway, he wanted to play with Snake Mountain. I was like, no, Leonard, you don't mix it with Snake Mountain. I remember also he wanted me to go see Leonard Part 6. No joke. He wanted to see Leonard Part 6 just because his name was Leonard and it was called Leonard. And he was like, I want a poster that says Leonard. He wanted everything. We could never find a poster. I remember he was like trying to find posters and stuff. He could find no Leonard merchandise. I can understand why. But Leonard. Man, you just see what old Leonard's up to today. Leonard. He had a sister that hated me. Woo, she couldn't hardly talk, man. She hated me. She couldn't get it out, and I'd be like, spit it out. And I'm not one to judge. I mean, I can't even say the word Jerusalem, and I'm 31 years old. 31 years old. But she gets so mad, she stomped her foot at me because she couldn't. I don't know what's wrong with her. She wasn't She wasn't, you know, she wasn't the R word. I don't know what's wrong with her, but she didn't like me. She didn't like me at all. I didn't like her too much either. It was just, whenever she came around, it was just, I didn't know what she was going to say. She would spit all in your face, spit all on you, and I didn't, it was just too much. I mean, I always had a friend in a wheelchair. That was pushing the line right there. I had a friend in a wheelchair. Wouldn't let anybody roll in it, though. But he was kind of pushing the line right there. But, I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent. Well, that's why I wanted to just do 5 of them. Because I'm sitting here, it's like 15 minutes already. But did you have any of these 5? Did you play with any of them? Let me know. And maybe we'll do. Let me know if you like this video. Maybe we'll look at some more that I knew that friends had that I didn't have. Thank you for watching.
I'm Audra Lee. See you next time on Kids Beat.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.